Hi guys and welcome to Bomb Anime.
It's your girl Ruka.
And Big Boy Summer here bringing you RWBY ICE QUEENDOM. Hot or not?
Creativity.
I thought that the fighting style was wicked. Oh my god, I really liked the way that RWBY was just going through it, the way that Blake was going through it. I mean, they had a whip gun. I mean, I don't need to say anything else. I thought that was pretty cool. So, like, there was a whip gun. Weiss was a badass. I didn't feel like I was watching an anime. I felt like I was inside an anime being thrusted into it.
RWBY obviously started off on YouTube with Rooster Teeth, and I watched the original version, but I did stop after some time. So watching this first episode was kind of weird for me because it's the same, but it's also very different, but the same. It was like culture shock. So basically, we've got the world being ransacked by these creatures called Grimm. Humans discovered this power called dust and it combats them, but they also use it in the world to sort of power things up and stuff like that. And we have also Beacon Academy that trains children to become hunters or huntresses to fight these Grimm. So in terms of the creativity, it's different, like, to a lot of anime that's out there, but obviously, like all anime, they share common things, but it's definitely different. Entertainment.
As I already mentioned in creativity, they had a whip gun. Now, seriously, the way that Blake whipped that thing around, I was like, I'm in awe. Now, okay, so you had the test, which was basically Weiss's family telling her, yo, if you don't pass this test, I'm not letting you go to Beacon Academy. Weiss duppied that Grimm and told that Grimm that, yo, I'm going to Beacon Academy. Then you had Blake literally cutting her I don't know, because I never watched the original thing, so I assume that she's part of some bandit group or some kind of outlaws called the White Fang, and she's a foulness, which I don't know, is that a beast creature? I don't know. And she got into Beacon Academy. RWBY got visited by the headmaster of Beacon Academy, and her sister already got admitted into Beacon Academy. So really and truly, what is Beacon Academy? I have no idea, but the way that they built the mystery around it was pretty cool. On top of that as well, I don't know how else to say it. There was a whip gun. I'm just saying, there was a whip gun in it.
They've shown us all the important characters that we need to know at this time, which to me, it kind of made it feel a little bit like the episode was overwhelmed with how much was going on, because they wanted to show us every character, like a little bit about every single character, which I really wish they had just slowed down with a little bit. They didn't need to do all of that straight away. It wasn't necessary. But they did use it in a way where you could find out a little bit about all of the main girls before they reached the academy together. We got to see all of them fight except for Yang, and we got to see all of their weapons again except for Yang. Really, we didn't see her doing much character development.
The only three, I want to call them classes or races, I'm not sure, that I got from it, I might be wrong, so correct me in the comments. Feel free to DM us on Instagram if you want. It's Bomb Anime Insta. You've got the foulness, the semblance, and the huntresses, maybe? I don't know if you want to class them as a race or not, but it seemed like those were the kind of archetypes that we were introduced to and left me a lot of questions. Now, RWBY seems to be a semblance, and I don't know what that is, but the way that she was moving didn't seem normal. So I guess she can melt with the wind and her ruby cloak, I guess. I don't know. The foulness, as I said earlier, I assume is a beast creature of some sort, but I'm only saying that because Blake had cat ears on. And the huntress was that lady with a wand that basically tried to duppy a ship, which I thought, you're kind of powerful if you feel you can do that. There were loads of characters here, like a lot of characters that were introduced. Yang and RWBY's dad, even their mum, even though, you know, she's obviously not with us, but you could tell that she's an integral part of that family. Ozpin came in with all his revelry and completely dominated, and I literally, as I was watching it, said, oh look, it's Gojo. And Ruka did that, you know, that manga reader thing when they know more than you and go, well, actually, it's not Gojo, because this was like in 2013. It was pretty cool getting a lot of characters, but I felt like there was a lot of characters and there's no way I could keep track of all of them. And they gave everyone names. So like the butler had a name, the brother had a name, the older sister had a name, and I was like, am I actually going to see any of these guys when you blatantly told me that these guys that have the acceptance letter are the important ones?
So Yang is the older sister of RWBY, and she takes this responsibility very seriously. She's always looking out for her, and I do get the sense that this is because their mother is not there anymore, so Yang has taken over even more of a role in RWBY's life. They're very, very close to each other as well, very supportive. Then you've got Weiss, who is a really strong character, and she's trying to prove to those closest to her that she's good enough to take her own path and follow her own dreams. So she's really fighting against her own family, and I think that makes her really relatable to a lot of people. Actually, I would say like all of the girls are quite relatable in their own way, including Yang with her whole older sister thing that she's got going on. And of course RWBY, who seems to have been very close to her mom. Even though she is dead, she still tries to stay connected to her, which is really nice because instead of having such a sad feel to it, it's more like she wants to keep sharing her life with her mom, so it doesn't have the melancholy feel to it. And she's also a little bit reckless, such as fighting in the streets with armed robbers, but it's because she has a really strong sense of justice and she didn't feel like she could stand by and not do something, so that makes her character quite interesting. World building.
Now, what I really do like about this anime so far, especially in episode 1, because that's what we got, is the fact that they showed you lots of insignificant things that kind of brought the world to life for me. So I'm watching a guy Spider-Man through trees. Why? But it fit. I'm watching a guy try and rob a shop and then use purple dust and clamber up a roof. Why? Because it fit. It was really fitting, but the world itself was weird. The introduction of Grimm and the whole, I don't know, folklore-y sort of tale that was happening in the beginning and the end in order to tie up the history and give you a little bit of background, I thought was a very nice touch, really. And the world is your pseudo sci-fi, futuristic yet back in timey world at the same time place that loads of these animes and fictional places like to use.
The world seems to be very unstable. I mean, you've got kids going to an academy to learn how to become a huntress or a hunter and fight the Grimm, which again, what we heard at the beginning was that these creatures have started to basically just run amok and destroy everything. So, I mean, if that doesn't tell you that your society is struggling in some way, then I don't know what does. The world's very technological as well, and the weapons are extremely advanced. Most weapons seem to have more than one form, which is unheard of. There is a lot of sort of a feel of a military presence throughout the entire thing. You see drones, you see a lot of different types of aircraft. So you know that this is a society where fighting is the norm, like fighting for survival is very normal for these people, which gives the entire world this feel of just instability, which is what it's going for. Plot execution.
So, in terms of plot execution, it reminded me of a film called Vantage Point, where you see it from loads of different people's vantage. Haha, funny name. But it worked, because we had it from RWBY's point of view when she's trying to buy a present for Yang for acceptance. Had it from Blake cutting off ties with the past and trying to forge her own path. We had it with Weiss and her family, her saying, yo, I'm strong, I can do this. Like, you had a lot of different vantage points where you could see the POVs of the characters, which also helped in the world building, but in terms of the plot, which wasn't given to us. But you could tell that we all knew where the end of the episode was going to end up in because of the little tidbits and the giving of the cards. So I thought that was really cleverly done.
To the verdict. You said everything that could be said. Creativity, hot or not?
For me, this is a massive hot. I've not seen a lot of things like it.
This is also a hot for me. It was always going to be a hot. Entertainment, hot or not?
This is also a hot. Oh my god, the fight scenes, hot.
I'm going to give this one a not. It just felt like it was a little bit too much. Character development, hot or not?
I kind of want to give it a not because of the sheer volume, but what we did see, especially like the sense of justice, it has to be a hot. It's a hot.
This is definitely a hot. Although they gave us a bunch of characters, they definitely gave us a strong feel for the characters. World building, hot or not?
It was a very pretty world. It was a very gorgeous world. It's a hot for me.
Really, really well done so far. So this is a hot. And plot execution, hot or not?
I'm going to give it a hot. They didn't tell you what the plot was, but you knew what the plot was. It's a hot.
I'm going to say it's a not. The main theme of it was that Ruby wants to get into the academy and she wasn't sure if she was going to be able to become a huntress, and then she got in. So I'm going to give it a not for this one. So there you have it. Big Boy Sama has gone for 5 out of 5 hots, and I've gone for 3 out of 5 hots. Like we said, it has a web version of RWBY if you want to watch it. I'm pretty sure it's still on YouTube. I haven't checked it in a lot of years, so I don't know if it's still there, but maybe check it out.
Also, if you ever want to DM us, feel free, and if you made it this far, we really do appreciate you.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share.
Peace.